been an unsung quarterback, it seems, most of his career. What you're getting out of him? How pleasantly pleased, surprised are you at all?
Well, this is Geno. At the other end of his career, he's had all those years behind him, and because he's such a good guy and he's such a great competitor, he studied his butt off to understand the game better and better. He's playing like a real pro. He gets it. He can see it. It's not too fast for him. He can make all the checks, all the adjustments. You saw him so many times use the clock all the way down to the nub to get us in the right play and to get the protection right. He's different than he was, and you can put a label on somebody for what he was, and then you miss the whole chance to understand this guy. This guy is a different guy.
Yeah, that's what I talked about last week, man. I think we have guys all around that, given the opportunity, can step up and make plays. I myself, received an opportunity, and now I'm getting a chance to go out there and thrive.
After the Seattle Seahawks traded Russell Wilson back in March earlier this year, there were very few optimistic 12s heading into the 2022 NFL season. However, just 7 weeks into the campaign, Seahawks QB Geno Smith has transformed this offense, making them one of the more feel-good stories around the league. This was a former starting NFL QB who last led a franchise in 2014 as a starter for the New York Jets. However, after a couple seasons, he soon became an afterthought as he fell into relative obscurity upon losing his starting job and being bounced around the league in a backup role over the next several years. Fast forward to 2022, and Geno Smith has eased the transition of the Seahawks faithful as the organization entered a new era as they moved on from their once beloved leader. What Geno has done this season is no fluke. Smith currently ranks in the top 5 in most major statistical categories, while Russell Wilson currently sits at the bottom. He's been able to find all his open receivers and throw at them accurately, while Russ has struggled to get his offense rolling in Denver, leading to a lot of frustration and negative body language from his teammates. So far this season, Geno has completed over 73% of his passes and thrown for over 1,700 yards while recording 11 TDs to 3 interceptions. Russell Wilson, on the other hand, has only completed a mere 5 TD passes to 3 picks and have the Denver Broncos sitting in last place in the AFC West with a 2-5 record. Smith is certainly the odds-on favorite to win NFL Comeback Player of the Year, but is also making a strong case for league MVP honors. He currently has his team first in the division with a 4-3 record and has surprised many around the league, as prior to the start of the season, the Seahawks were expected to have one of the worst records in the league. Guys, this was a team that was supposed to be in a rebuild after the departure of Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner, 2 staples of this team that went all the way back to a decade ago. And now with Geno Smith playing this well, just imagine if the QB can keep this up, Seattle won't have to spend any of that draft stock that they received from the Russell Wilson trade on finding a new quarterback. They already used up the 1st and 2nd round picks from 2022, but also still have those same 2 picks for next year's draft. Pete Carroll and John Schneider can actually start building around Geno and get him some weapons on offense to make the team much more stronger. But kudos to both of them for not jumping the gun and drafting another QB in 2022, as it seems like Pete actually liked what he saw in his backup and had faith in him. When speaking with sports writer Peter King, Geno Smith was quick to point out that in the early stages of his career that the league kind of gives up on players very quickly, stating, "If you look at Peyton Manning, if you judge his rookie season, you'd never think Peyton Manning would become what he became. Steve Young too, Troy Aikman, the list goes on and on. Just gotta have patience with young quarterbacks. You gotta find the right young quarterback with the right mentality who are going to continue to work and have a great attitude about the game and the struggle." And this quote here kind of really puts things into perspective. We oftentimes are so quick to judge players over a stretch of games and write them off so easily. And it's interesting to wonder what would have happened to the earlier part of Geno Smith's career had he not been with the New York Jets, a terrible organization at the time that likely may have hindered his development.